Individual and collective memory can manifest itself through souvenirs, museums, statues, and even scrapbooks. The scrapbook is specifically poignant because it most explicitly demonstrates how memory works for an individual and can also be appropriated as part of a culture. The particular images of order and value presented by scrapbooks, as well as the occasions provided for contemplating these qualities, can offer important clues to the cultural construction of a self in the American context. Studying individual case studies can give insight to the new field of memory. Elinor Fry is one such case study who began scrapbooking in her teenage years in the 1930s. She was a professional dancer who traveled to places such as London, Paris, Tokyo, and more in pursuit of higher knowledge of dance. Fry created two scrapbooks, one depicting a trip to New York and another her life in her Richmond home. These two scrapbooks present vast differences that can teach about Fry's experience and the way memory works. A look into Elinor Fry's scrapbook reveals a number of restaurant menus, playbills, sugar packets, and straw wrappers. These appear to be in no distinct order, and Fry only notes two dates, the one in which she arrived, May 6th, and when she left, August 6th, 1949. The second scrapbook had a clear-cut structure that began with a homepage, in which she introduced herself by including biographical newspaper clippings. She then proceeded in chronological order to narrate her life. In this scrapbook, Fry only used newspapers that were already in circulation. If looking at these two scrapbooks without information on their authorship, it would be unknown that they were both created by the same person. The first scrapbook seems chaotic and has an emphasis on physical objects, while the second primarily relies on newspaper articles and pictures. These scrapbooks are proof of the impact location can have on memory. They reflect the places they described. In Barbie Zelzer's words, in order to achieve memory, we must first imprint on it a location. Fry's chaotic New York scrapbook then can be a direct result of the chaotic hustle and bustle of the city. Fry was situated in New York as a tourist, and thus life here was free of the everyday routines. This lack of restraint, and thus the imagined location, as well as the physical location, were present in Fry's scrapbook. When in New York, Elinor Fry took physical objects that had a specific function in New York and reappropriated them in her own personal scrapbook, taking with her a part of New York, ultimately making a statement of its importance. In juxtaposition, when in Richmond, there is a sense of structure in the mundane, and the consistency of newspapers Elinor chooses to display. Space becomes a vital point to understanding these scrapbooks, and Elinor's choice of materials and use of chronology. Through Elinor Fry's scrapbooks, it is apparent that space is the locus through which an individual recalls an event and assigns its meaning.